Well, hello, everybody. It is your hostess, Mistress Hellfire, or Madam Hellfire, whatever you choose to call me. I see we've got a lot of good peoples in the chat, so I will say hello, hello, hello to everybody. Spectre, hashtag 779, is in the chat. Pigeon Salad is in the chat. Megas XLR is with us. Hello, hello. And Red Chaos 173 is in chat. Thank you guys for coming by. Uh, Sorry I haven't been on for quite some time. I've been going through a lot of different things that have made it more difficult to do streams, etc., etc. But we're managing. Um, yeah, we're gonna be back to getting me completely fucking tortured because why not? And because I want to get this done. I want to be done with TribeTwelve so bad, guys. I want to be done so bad. 11 parts. 11 parts. Hopefully we'll get through a good chunk of this stuff today and then maybe have one more stream and be done with it. I'm hoping, but as you could probably tell, my voice is a little bit rough. It's rough because I watched my wrestling pay-per-view last night and I was screaming my brains out, and now I'm paying the price. So we will go as long as I can hold out, or at least until my voice just completely bites the dust. So, before I get into that, I've been doing some stupid stuff on my secondary channel. Some really stupid stuff. If you like how I work with my variety streams, please go and check out my secondary channel. That's where all the VODs and my stupid stuff that isn't horror related will go. If you're interested in that, feel free to go hang around in there. If not, no problems. But it is there if you would like it. Yes, Rhea did win, and I am very happy about that. But without further ado, we're getting back into entries. And this one is from... Before we even get to that, this needs to be... Yay. Okay. November 8th, 2003. Let's let it scroll down a little bit so I can see most of this and then read it out as best I can. All right. Okay, so November 8th, 2003. I slept in last night and had a vivid dream, but it was of a memory. For the longest time, I had no memory of the boat incident other than fractured pieces, but last night it was like it all played back for me. We got on a private charter at noon, and there was around 20 people. It was Mom and I, the Hendersons, the Maxwells, the Alders, and a few others. We sailed around the harbor for a few hours, and everything was fine until there was some screaming and a huge explosion that flipped the yacht on its side. Oof. Oof. I was inside playing with Will and Elizabeth, and we were about to climb out before the water filled up the cabin. We swam ashore to see that the boat had capsized and was smoking. The Alder grandparents floated over on a life raft, and Fred had to carry Steph because she couldn't swim well. Aunt Jo was freaking out because Sam and Tommy were missing, and Noah's parents were calling out for Noah, who was also missing, along with both Grandpa Karl and Grandma Sonia. First, Sam emerged from the water with Tommy, who wasn't breathing. Someone came over and tried to give him CPR, but it was too late and he died. Oof. They found Karl down the shore, hanging on to Sonia's life vest and a book. Everyone else was accounted for except Noah, Sonia, and the captain. She had drowned and washed up later that day. They had a search party, then went late into the night. They found Noah washed up way down the shoreline that morning. Yikes. Massive yikes. I would definitely be, just losing my shit if there was all of that. Look at all those entries we have to look at. Oh, I love it. Fucking love it. I'm kidding. I don't love it. When we found him, I went over to him on the stretcher, and he told me this strange thing. The truth lies within. The river's flow is where it begins. When the dawn breaks, the soul awakens. Everyone else made it out all right, but the captain's body was never found. My mom accused Karl of saving his book instead of his wife, and she kept yelling at him, demanding that he tell her why he had her unfastened life vest. I just realized that I missed taking my pills last night. That's never good. We don't do that big family reunion party in New York anymore. This is the 20th. I think this is like well over a month after that. After cousin Tommy and Grandma Sonia died, we only had one, and it was morning after their funerals. And the whole family drifted apart after that. I never really knew my Grandma Sonia much, but I miss Tommy a lot. This time we flew to Florida because my stepdad had his business here. So we got to visit Noah. He's 12 now and is fun to hang out with every few years. Noah's old house also burned down like mine because of an electrical fire in 1998. We all know that is not the case at this point, or there's something more to it. And this is my third time hanging at his new house. He showed me around his neighborhood. We visited this boardwalk that they started building into a mangrove forest, and we went to some really nice beaches. All right, let's move along. Okay, our moms still don't like each other much because of the disagreements about Grandpa Karl. Mom says that he let their mom drown after a book, but Noah's mom says that he tried to save her, but she slipped from her life vest, and he lives with the guilt every day. My mom always goes on about how her dad disowned her for no reason in her youth, and says he's been senile ever since, only speaking German and shutting up the rest of the family. Sharon says that my mom was the one who distanced herself because of her paranoia, and it's an argument that has never won between them. Uncle Alex always has to step in and stop it, or to stop it. Also, I saw someone outside of the window while we were playing N64. Oh, good times. I thought it was Alex, but he was in the kitchen. I saw him a few times, a shadow cast on the blinds, a bit of black peeking out from behind a window. Can't read again. Stands off in the distance outside late at night. I thought that Noah just had creepy neighbors. It didn't really bother me until I came home and realized that I hadn't been taking my medication. I was so excited that I totally forgot to bring them. That always isn't good. We know you start seeing Slendy if you stop taking your meds. December 30th, it's 10 days later. It's almost New Year's, and I've had a lot of time to reflect, looking back on this year. I'm starting to realize that I remember more when I don't take my medication, just like I wrote about. Let's have to get down a little bit. Happening years ago, other than the vitamin supplements, I take a blue oval tablet twice a day, a red round tablet once in the morning, and a black and white capsule once in the morning and once before bed at night. I don't even know what they're called now that I think about it. I know one is for anxiety and stress, the other is to keep my schizophrenia at bay, and the capsule is some kind of antidepressant. I've been taking for as long as I can remember since it was very small. I've never really felt the need to question what meds I take since they've been helping me to keep me stable for so long, but when I don't take them, it starts to feel like I've only really felt this way about it because they've been blinding my brain somehow. So if by chance what I wrote in this journal when I was younger holds water, I want to know who the hell this Hanka person is, why he sold my drugs to my mom, why we were even ever involved in occult shit to begin with, what exactly they had planned on doing to me behind closed doors, and why the fuck my mom has been hiding all this shit from me for all these years. All I can remember was the explosion throwing me off the boat, not being able to swim, blacking out, and then waking up in the hospital with major injuries. I had never known that I had said the truth lies within, quote, to Milo until I read this entry. In fact, I had never even heard of it until I first found it written on a note card inside that box left at my door back in 2010. When Firebrand mentioned it being meaningful in this video, I think he was hinting that he had a role in the boat incident. I'm pretty damn sure that the body of water shown behind his text was the harbor that we sailed out of. Maybe he saved me. This was no coincidence. The truth later entries is horrifying. I remember this visit because Milo kept asking me why my neighbors were so nosy. He said that they kept peeking in at us while we played, but I never saw anyone. This is when I first learned of Milo's mental illness from my mom, but now, after reading his journal, I don't think he ever truly had any. Yeah, always take your meds, bro. Always take your meds, man. All right, next. All right, January 5th, 2004. I had a dream about my dad. He was pushing me on a swing at the park, and I fell and scraped my knee. Then we got ice cream, and he told me he had money in the bank saved up for my college fund. I woke up on the floor. Whenever I dream about Dad, I'm never sure if I'm making up a dream or recalling an early memory because I was too young to remember him. Mom lets me know she remembers the events happening, but she said that she doesn't remember me scraping my knee and said Dad never got around to setting up that fund because of the fire. Then again, I don't remember seeing her in the dream, so who knows if it actually happened. Not to mention a lot of things Mom says don't add up. I once had this vivid dream that we all went to Disney World for a week, but Mom insists we've never met, or we never went. That's really bad writing. It hurts my brain. We even used to have a Mickey Mouse glass I remember us buying in the cupboard, but Mom said it was a gift from a friend. She broke it a few years ago. She probably did it on purpose, bro. When she says goodnight, she doesn't go to sleep right away. Many times I overhear her talk to this person late into the night. This has been going on for as long as I can remember, so I don't think it's John. I had written about it too. Sometimes she even talks in a different language. Sometimes I hear her writing down stuff. Other times I hear her mentioning me, people in our family, and strange things that I've found in old entries like sessions and birthrights. I'm pretty sure I actually heard her say Mr. Slim once. Slendy boy. I always figured she was talking to someone from her PTA meetings. Tonight I put my ear to her door and heard her say, Danke, Henke. Or it's thank you, Henke. I used to think it was just a German greeting, but now I know that Henke is the name of the skull man from my childhood visions. That's not a common name, I don't think. Is he real? Who is this person? I can't ask Mom because she can't know that I have you, and I can't just say my memories suddenly return because I've been thinking. What if these pills are meant to block my memories? What if it's not just a side effect? If I start mentioning random stuff from years ago, would she suspect I'm not taking my meds? I'm really anxious now because what if there's more to those delusions I had as a little kid? Maybe I'm just overthinking junk. But I really hope she isn't cheating on John with someone else. John is a good stepdad and I love him. January 30th. Somehow, something really weird happened today. Mom went to her weekly PTA meeting and came home just like she usually does. But during dinner, someone called late. John picked up and said it was for Mom. Okay. She ran with the phone to the kitchen. And we heard her say, eating dinner, why? Emergency? What's the emergency? Emergency meaning, okay, all right, I'll be there. She said, he can't rate this shit right. She said there was an urgent budgetary issue that couldn't wait until the next Friday, and she rushed out without finishing dinner. John mumbles something about how Mom cares more about the welfare of the PTA than the family sometimes. If it's a PTA, they wouldn't have a budgetary meeting. I highly doubt they do that in PTAs. In the family sometimes. As the PTA treasurer, she said she works hard with money, keeping records and preparing reports. What was really weird about it is that last week I was talking to Kevin and the PTA came up in a conversation. He said his mom was part of it too. I asked what he did on Fridays when his mom was out, but he said she never goes out to any meetings on Fridays. He says they meet Tuesdays and Thursdays. I figured this was because his mom didn't have an important role like treasurer. But something about Mom leaving suddenly at night felt extra weird. No shit. But something about Mom leaving suddenly at night felt extra weird, especially after seeing my younger self wrote about. She came back at midnight and said that she fixed the error and that everything was sorted out. I really want to believe that the more I'm off my meds, the more I feel that Mom is being dishonest, because she is. I still love her, but I want to know the truth. Also, I just woke up in the bathtub before writing this. I think I'm starting to sleepwalk. This is the third time I've woken up in a random place. I've been hearing noises outside my window more too. It's suddenly difficult to tell what's real sometimes. No, you think. So 3 months later. Hey, what's up, Mike? Aw, gaslighting and creepypasta. Absolutely gaslighting the fuck out of the creepypasta. This is what we do here, Mike. You know this. You know this. It's been 4 months since I stopped taking my meds, and I feel completely different. Like my mind is sharper, and the thought fog has lifted. I feel bad that Ooh, thank you for the gifted sub, Pidge. 07's in the chat for Pidge. Fog is I feel bad that mom still wastes money on them, but I can't risk saying anything that would send me back to psychiatric hospital. I'd honestly pay my allowance to stay off of the shit. I had a confusing nightmare last night. The shadow person with the dot eyes who looked like an older Noah was playing chess with me in my room. I don't know what that is, Megas, but, cool. Oh, trying to put emojis or something and it's not working. Gotcha. That's what it looks like, at least. There was a loud banging at the door, and I knew that there was something evil on the other side. Open the fucking door, this monstrous voice of it boomed. He looked at me as if to say, what are you going to do? And I shook my head in fear. He then took my journal, put it up against the door, and drew a symbol on it. The same eye symbol that Mom has on her hand that I've seen so much in my dreams. As he drew, I heard these words in my head. Praesidium adversus egotisticus. Fuck, it's stupid. The knocking stopped. He handed me the journal and said, you have to mean it. And the next thing I knew, I was in my room, but it was completely bare, empty. I couldn't see anything, and someone was chasing me in the darkness. I ran into the shadow Noah again. We had a briefcase. Suddenly, from behind him appeared who had been chasing me. God, you can't even fucking English, motherfucker. Do you speak it? He had I already read that. There he was, the big man. From what I could make out, he was exactly like I described. An unnaturally tall man wearing a business suit with a blank face. Shadow Noah smirked at him, holding up a book that I knew belonged to Karl. I felt the tension in the room building at this, like it was some kind of snide power move. God, he can't fucking write to save his life and it hurts my brain. Noah looked back at me and pointed to the front door, which opened. Someone was standing there, but I woke up before I could make them out. I blinked and I was awake, standing at my window. In my delirium, I saw someone behind the big tree in the neighbor's front yard. There was a flash of light and they ran down the road. I'm not sure if that was a dream too, because when I blinked again, it was morning and I was back in bed. I've never had such a vivid dreams before, and I'm pretty sure a bunch of them were memories straight out of the old entries. I've been rereading and reevaluating everything I wrote down over 7 years ago with a new eyes. I don't know if I'm going off the deep end or if all this scary stuff actually happened. An embryo has better writing skills than this. I agree. May 24th. At school today, I looked up those words from the dream on the library computer, and they mean protection against selfish in Latin. Yeah, you tried to be fucking smart, didn't you, Noah? Didn't work. It sounds dumb. I was reminded of those odd words that the Ouija board had spelled out years ago, so I tried looking them up too. Ephemeris means diary. Occultatum means hidden. Assyrians means hungry. And undike means everywhere. So a diary was talking to Kevin, and I saying that my dad was hidden, and the big man was hungry and everywhere. Can't write. Was it you who was talking to us, journal? What did you mean by hidden? Because hidden doesn't mean dead. I had to know if Kevin remembered anything. At lunch, I asked him if he remembers back in elementary school when we played with a Ouija board together. He says he doesn't remember that. He remembers that Dr. Seuss assignment we worked on and me breaking a glass, but now he tells me that he's never owned a Ouija board. My memories of that time are coming back now, and I'm certain that what happened was not a dream or a hallucination. I don't think he's lying to me, and I don't think he remembers anything either, but it freaks me out how much Kevin has changed since that night. He used to be real bubbly and friendly, but he got quieter and distant going into middle school. We hung out less and less, and when we did, we played less, and now it's a miracle if we ever get to hang out. It feels like my best friend morphed into a different person overnight. I can't be completely upset because his grades really started improving. I'm really proud of him because he used to be so sad that he couldn't get any A's, and now he's getting higher grades than I am. Back. He says he got meds to fix his ADHD. Everybody's on meds, guys. Everybody's on meds. And his mom got him a tutor in middle school. I gotta refresh this. It's fucking killing me. Sorry, I had to refresh that because my studio dashboard is being weird. ADHD meds. His mom got him a tutor in middle school that really clicked with him. While I'm happy for him, I can't shake the feeling now that I'm responsible for that change. Maybe I really did infect him with something and by just being close friends. But how can something that's supposed to only be in my head infect someone else's life? Between mom's lies, memories connecting to my past writings, and all this paranormal shit, I'm starting to believe in the impossible. Who knows? Maybe dad is actually out there somewhere. Slendy. If I live in a world where a supernatural being in a business suit can exist, a book can communicate to me through a spirit board, and they can make a second Shrek movie, then I'm damn well allowed to believe that there's a chance that my dad can still be alive. All right. April Fool's joke is stupid. You should be vigilant every day of the year. So Noah being fucking edgy as always. Nope, back up a little bit. Okay. I saw my psychiatrist today for my biannual checkup. We had a very different discussion than usual this time around. She noticed that I was acting unusual and asked what had changed. Because my therapy admissions were private between us, I felt comfortable spilling the beans. I said that I had been off my medication for almost half a year. I told her that I feel much better now, like my head is clear and my memory is improving. She said that that was interesting and asked if there had been any downsides. I said that my dreams had gotten more nightmarish and frightening. I've started to sleepwalk, and I think I'm starting to see this strange man out of the corner of my eye. She said that while she's happy I feel like I've made a positive improvement, my symptoms are worrying, and going cold turkey is dangerous for my mental and physical health in the long run. True. That's what they should say. She said I was doing so well last visit and made so much progress going through the trouble of finding the right cocktail of drugs that worked for me that I should reevaluate my decision to stop taking them. God, you can't fucking write. Run on sentences much. She said for me to take a step back and make a personal judgment if staying off these meds in exchange for mental clarity is worth the risk of having another dangerous schizophrenic relapse, or if taking them again to achieve that previous stable state of mental health we had worked years to achieve is worth bearing the negative side effects of those drugs. She told me she will send out refills for my meds, recommending that I go back on them immediately if any psychotic events begin to occur. I asked more about the meds. She said the blue one calms my anxiety and the red one is an antipsychotic. But when I asked about the capsule, she said that she's only ever prescribed me those two. Ooh, boom, guys. I caught myself and said I meant the vitamin supplements. Internally, I was freaking the hell out. What the fuck are those black and white capsules I've been taking for most of my life? They must have come from the Henka guy. I had written that he sold my mom my capsules back then, so they must be them because back when I had only been taking the black and white one for years. I felt super conflicted leaving Dr. Grainer's office. She was right. I was pretty stable on those drugs and doing fairly well on the surface before I found this journal. I honestly felt decently happy. But looking back on it now that I can think straight, the truth is that those meds kept the real me bound and gagged inside my head while my life just passed by without me. Like I was stuck on autopilot. Now that I got that neurological muzzle off my cognizance, I don't ever want to go back to that state of being, even if it means risking going back to the institute. I don't want simulated happiness because being in control of my consciousness and being able to see. Bro, this is like so stupid. I hate how he writes. The real truth is what gives me a real comfort. I can see so clearly now. I really think these visions of beings are not only real, but are guiding me with purpose, and those chemicals I'm expected to swallow just make me blind, deaf, and dumb to perceiving them. But what if this is the plan? To turn me into a complacent zombie, erase my memory, and keep me from asking questions? all because I somehow have some bizarre paranormal curse that they apparently have a stake in due to some magical journal that my recluse grandpa has. It sounds so goddamn crazy, but there are too many red flags surrounding me, and they are all pointing to the same place. All these thoughts lead me back to my mom and our growing lists of secrets that I've learned thanks to the existence of these pages. I've got this sickening feeling that I'm being puppeteered by a third party for some nefarious purpose, and that Mom is in on it and has been in on it for years. Considering the fact that she somehow still brings home those damn capsules, it all makes me so overwhelmed and I feel so fucking sick. Who do I trust? Who can I trust? I'm alone in this world. Back a little bit. Come on. I just want to read what that says. The whore doesn't have all the cups in her closet, but children and drunk people always tell the truth. I don't fucking know what that means. I don't understand half the shit he says. Magical STD must flow. I agree. July 9th, 2004. I made the decision today to go back into Mom's safe to see what else she's been hiding from me. I need to know what she's really been doing because getting stuck in these thought loops has driven me to take the anxiety tablet, which actually seems to work and calms me down. When I replaced you in the safe with the decoy, I saw several folders of documents inside as well. After camp, when Mom went to her PTA meeting, I picked the lock to her room again and tried to open the safe, but the combination didn't work. I know I'm entering it right because I wrote the numbers down in case I forgot. I think she changed it, which freaks me out. It's been nearly a year, but why would she change her safe combo? I don't know, maybe because a lot of people do that, where they frequently change combos to their saves to make sure that nobody can get into it. Duh. Wish you would step back from the edge. Wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend. Gotta love when I know the references. I have a feeling that she knows I've been snooping in it. Now I guess I'll have to wait for my shadow self to show me the code again. Either way, I can't look at Mom the same way after going to the doctor. At dinner, we got into an argument about money being tight. I suggested that I should stop taking my pills because they're expensive and I'm doing a lot better now, so I feel that I can get off them and save us cash. Mom was insistent that I kept taking them and threatened that if I don't, she'll send me back to the psych ward because she won't risk another psychotic break. John didn't know what had happened, so she told him, to prove her point, a few years back in 2001, I hadn't taken my meds for a week or two, and one night I woke up from a fugue state, pressing a knife up to my mom's throat. She freaked out and sent me to the mental hospital. They said this happened because I was off my meds, so they upped my dose. This all made John really uneasy, and he said I should probably keep taking them just in case. I was so angry, but I said sure thing just to keep the argument from escalating, and we kept eating. But I fucked up. I fucked up bad. I was so caught up in my frustrated thoughts that my tongue slipped. My mom asked John how work was today. Then she asked me how camp was. And after I asked Mom how book club went, oh, he definitely let it slip. I wasn't thinking, and it just came out. Like it was something I used to ask her routinely when I was younger. I corrected myself in saying I meant PTA meeting, but it was too late. Mom hit it well, but I could see something in her expression change. She said that the meeting went well, but then barely spoke for the rest of the meal. I'm terrified now that she knows I'm onto her. She's neurotic as hell, but she isn't dumb. I just know she knows that I'm awake now. I have to play it extra safe around her to know that she probably figures that I'm aware of the heaps of lies she's built our family on for years. Why did that not... Okay. Stop. Pause. She either knows I haven't been taking those capsules, that I've been peeping in her safe, that I have this journal back, or all three. And who knows what other damning shit she thinks I know, since I had access to those records. I should have fucking read them when I had the chance. What if they have information about Dad? What if Mom lied about... Didn't finish that one. It was at this moment he knew he fucked up. Yep. I'm having a lot of trouble processing this journal. This shouldn't exist, and yet here it is. This is a real object, and I'm writing in it. I was at work. I've been working at the library for over a year now. Excuse me. And I was putting away books from the book drop at the end of the day, and there was this black book at the bottom of the return pile that caught my eye. It had no markings, but a lock on it. I was positive I'd never seen it before in my life. I was overcome with this intense mix of emotions when I held it. Like a hidden door like a hidden door in the library of my mind had suddenly appeared, and someone was knocking from the other side. And I felt this knocking before too, but in that moment, it was the loudest it's ever been. I felt so oddly familiar, like recognizing someone random on the street that you somehow know you have a deep personal connection with. With trembling hands, I stashed it in my backpack and biked home as fast as I could, my heart racing. Mom was still out at her Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, and my stepdad was asleep on the couch. I ran to my room and froze as this intense feeling of deja vu smacked me in the face. I heard an inner voice coming from behind the door in my mind, whispers. It told me to look in my closet for something hidden. I searched around for a good half hour and found a removable panel in the wall. There was a box inside the wall filled with various things, some more familiar to me than others. These were my old toys. This was my secret hiding place. The door in my mind was banging louder and louder, and then I saw it. Inside my small plastic bag, there was a key tied to a band made of the same material as the book. I knew instantly that this is what I was looking for. I unlocked the book, and as soon as I saw the inscription that said it belonged to me, the door in my mind flew open, and out poured a torrent of memories that flooded my head like a dam had burst. Behind that door was a whole other library containing a forgotten life that I never even knew I'd lived. This was my personal journal. I had chronicled my life in it for many years. I've been staying up all night frantically devouring page after page, entry after entry, and this missing history of my life is revealing itself before my eyes. As I'm writing this now, my head is spinning, and I'm still drowning in its surge of memory. But it's the horror of what I'm reading that's suffocating me. A group of supernatural shadow people, a business monster, a secret organization of wizard cultists, a magic journal at Grandpa's, a mystery medication I'm still taking, a mountain of lies from my mom. In an instant, my life has turned upside down. This is all far too much to take in. It's now 6 a.m. and it's my 18th birthday, but it feels like I've been reborn into hell. Luckily, this is just one of my terrible vivid nightmares, and I'm going to wake up in the real world soon and laugh at such a ridiculous dream. So much reading, my voice hurts. September 17th, 2006. I slept through my birthday. I was out for a good 13 hours. I woke up at 7 p.m. on the 16th with a massive headache, starving. I don't think there's a scale large enough to measure the amount of disdain we have for this writing. I have so much disdain. So much. It's dumb. Mom had left a sticky note on the door. She and John had gone out for drinks, and there was cake in the fridge. Isn't she an alcoholic? Didn't we just read that she's an alcoholic and it goes to Alcoholics Anonymous? Plot holes. Hey, what's up, Jacob Gulf City? Welcome. Mom had left a sticky note on the door. Yeah. There was a cake in the fridge, all right. One slice of cake and a big empty container with another note. We got hungry and didn't want to wake you. Happy birthday. Love, Mom and Dad. Both of you suck. I ate the cake, stale and hard. Then I remember this journal. During my long sleep, it felt like my mind had reassembled itself. I can remember everything. I realized that I can remember all of those lost memories, and I wept. And I threw up. I was asleep for 2 years. Then it hit me. I had completely missed my medication yesterday. I heated up some ramen and reread every entry of my horrifying past. It's really, really bad. None of this makes sense. None of it. When I reached an abrupt end of the last entry from 2004, the rest of what happened continued playing in my mind's eye as I had remembered it. So now I'm going to write what went down in case I forget again. As I was writing in the middle of the night, Mom suddenly knocked on my door, asking to come in, saying it was very important. I said, "Hold on just a moment, I'm not feeling well." I knew the jig was up. This was it for me. I knew this story. I was the little pig and she was the big bad wolf coming to eat me. She was banging now. Open the fucking door, she screamed. It was then I remembered my Shadow Noah dream, and I instantly knew that it was a prophecy. That very moment I knew what I had to do. I put the journal against the door, drew the symbol, and said, Presidium adversus egotisticus. Then I locked the journal, hid it behind the dresser, and swallowed the key. As I gulped, she broke down the door and stumped up to me without saying a word. The shiny look in her eyes gives me chills to think about. She's put a foul-smelling cloth over my face and stuck something sharp in my neck. Everything after that was a blur. The next time I remember being conscious was on the camp bus with Kevin. At the time, I didn't know what had happened, but it felt like I had woken up from a long nap. I asked him how long I was asleep for, and he said I hadn't been asleep, but I was out with the flu for a week. I had no memories of my journal, what Mom had done, or anything else I had discovered. All I could grasp was this general but certain feeling of having a happy childhood, just like how I felt before I found the journal back in 2003. It's like my mind was wiped clean, again. At least now I know why I shat out a key one day. Those damn capsules made me forget about my safe spot after those years, among everything else. Now I know it was me who was banging on the door in the mental library. For 2 years I was trapped in there. Now I'm free and my mind is complete again. I'm never going to let them take my memory ever again. I would rather die than be someone's fucking puppet. More entries will be posted tomorrow. Flu. More stuff. October 20th, 2006. I'm forced to live a lie and act like a zombie to be safe, but I guess that's my life now. I was trapped for years inside my head, but I had awareness. I'm able to recall how I acted day to day so I can mimic drugged me to a T. I've gotten used to the routine and done my best to act as I did before my awakening. I've since graduated from high school and I've gotten a job at a local library to save up for college. Once I get enough cash to move out, I'm going to try to go into filmmaking. I've also gotten my own cell phone now. I don't use it much, other than talking to Noah and Kevin sometimes. I think Mom only got it for me because because the family plan is cheapest. That makes sense. I've been unsure about what to do now, given my current situation. I've considered running away, but after some thinking, I've decided to maintain this facade for as long as I can until I can get some solid dirt on my mom, the buster. I can't let her get away with what she's done and what she's still fucking doing. She still gives me the black and white capsules to take, but I've gotten really good at palming them. Sometimes I have to swallow them because she has her eye on me. I've noticed she asks me questions right after so she can hear me talk and make sure I'm not hiding it under my tongue. I dissolved one in vinegar once, and I leaned back, since I learned back in biolab that it is a similar pH to stomach acid, and it takes about 15 minutes to dissolve, and I know how much time I have to vomit. I've lost some weight due to this. It's better than sleeping, yay. It will yeah, I'm falling asleep reading this, honestly. I do this but late. Night ramen helps. I've been collecting the caps in my hiding spot as evidence for when the right time comes. It's been over a month now since I've taken one and I no longer feel hazy. The only noticeable difference is this cough I get when I don't take it. I'm recalling now that has always followed going cold turkey from that capsule. Over-the-counter cough meds and throat lozenges are like candy to me now. I still take a blue pill, which I've identified as a benzo, because it's actually helped to quell my anxiety, but not the red one because they make me too drowsy, and I'm pretty damn sure that I don't have schizophrenia. I'm almost certain now that the beings I can see are real, and any psychotic behavior I've ever had has been a direct result of them, not a neurological imbalance. I've not taken that tablet for long periods of time in the past without any psychotic episodes, and I don't think an antipsychotic chemical can stop their influence. I'm still hearing voices, but now I know they're real. I can't explain any of it concretely, but the entries and what I'm able to remember is honestly all the evidence I need to prove to myself. What a fitting day for such a horrifying memory to return. I remember what happened after Mom came into my room that night and knocked me out. It all came to me in pieces after seeing John take out the trash today. I recall waking in my bed that night, nearly paralyzed, with Mom looming over me like a vulture on prey. I kept thinking that my spell didn't work and it was all over. The most movement I could muster as she forced me to swallow a capsule was blinking and moving my head a bit. "Who is Mr. Scars?" she was shouting at me over and over. I tried to say, "I don't know," but it just came out as gibberish. She said I was grounded and that I wasn't going to see Noah that year if I don't tell her. She also told me that if I tell John anything to jeopardize her relationship, she'll ship me off to the institute. She was on the phone a lot, pacing around the house. I remember John coming home from work and feeding me soup the next day. "You're gonna get over this flu in no time, pal." Mom made the poor bastard clean up after me. I remember her looking all over the room multiple times. She changed her tone. "Honey, where's your journal?" I didn't respond. I stared right past her. I figured, since she made me a vegetable, then that's exactly what I'll be. Then, on the third day, she found it behind the dresser. I felt so helpless and cloudy, seeing her hold what is essentially my only connection to my past memories. First-hand evidence of her crimes and all the truth I had come to discover. She held my mind in her hands, but she couldn't open it without the key. "Where's the key, honey?" When I ignored her again, she went to these big wire cutters that John had from the man days. Just when she was about to clamp down, she stopped and broke down sobbing. She threw the journal across the room and shouted, "Shut up." I managed to say my first words, "Mom." And she looked at me with those red, shiny eyes. "Please don't erase me." She came over and hugged me, crying into my shoulder. I cried too. I distinctly remember her saying, "I'm so sorry, baby. This is the only way to stop this." Then she got a call on her cell phone. She spoke German to someone briefly. When she hung up, she stared at me for a good minute or two. I could tell she was conflicted, unsure what to do next. There was a noise outside that broke her from her pensive trance. She snatched up the journal and rushed out of the room. I heard a rustling of plastic before she ran out the door shouting, "Wait, wait." I was able to turn my head to the window in time to see the garbage truck turn to street corner. I was overcome with profound sadness and I cried. But at the time, I wasn't sure why I was crying. The caps were doing their job. I remember asking when she came back into the room, "What's my temperature?" as I figured that I had the flu. Each day after I was given those caps, my sense of self became fuzzier and fuzzier. I think I was in bed for a week before regaining my motor skills and going back to camp. I didn't pop back into streamlined consciousness until I was on the bus with Kevin. I felt deeply confused because I still felt all the sadness and the anger inside me, but I didn't know why. The next day, I was having bad stomach pains and I had to run to the bathroom during fourth period. I had bloody diarrhea and felt something solid snake its way. I'm not reading that. Not reading that. You pooped out the key. We got it. Milo didn't visit me in 2004 or 2005. Mary told my mom he was busy with work. We still spoke on the phone every so often and had general conversations about games and stuff. Sometimes we would make up stories together, but we barely even went into his personal life other than saying he was doing well. What happened? What happened? The fuck? Now I gotta find where we were. God damn it. Sorry about this, guys. Go back a little bit more. Where were we? Okay, so we're close to where we were. Okay, so we're right about here. Yep, we're right about here. Okay. I don't know what any of that means. What does that mean? Okay, have you ever slept for a week? Your grief hits harder than usual. You just leave bed to eat and shit. Nothing is fulfilling. The days blur together. You have to trick yourself to keep going. It is exhausting beyond your comprehension. Okay. If this is a... Oh, okay, no, it's not. When we obviously we're gonna have a video, so when we get to that, we'll do the whole 5 minutes or 4 minutes of like 0.5, and then a couple minutes, or 4 minutes of 0.5, and then 2 minutes of 0.25 that I owe you guys. Curse this shitty internet. My entry is not published. We'll try again later tonight. Okay. We're visiting Noah for his 15th birthday now. We drove down this time because flights were too expensive. I haven't seen him since 2003, and he's grown a lot. He's starting high school now and has a different haircut, but he's still the same great friend. Even though it was his birthday, he gave me toys for Oscar and a $50 gift card for Best Buy. He said it was because it's been a long time since we hung out, and these gifts were to make up for my missed birthdays. I feel bad because we only got him a Best Buy gift card, but only a $20 one. He said it doesn't matter, though, since the real gift was having me there in person instead. Aww. I'm gonna throw up. That's so cute. I'm still looking at potential colleges, but I think I'd like to apply to some in Florida near Noah so that we can hang out more often. I don't know if it's his kindness or the fact that his shadow doppelganger has been helping me, but I feel safest and happiest in his company. I don't know if it's kindness or the fact... Oh, I just read that. I'm stupid. There was little to no fighting at this visit because John came along with us in this time, and he and Alex are maintaining the peace between our moms. I'm so happy to have John here to balance them out. For Noah's party, we went bowling, had cake, and saw Casino Royale after the movie. After the movie, we came back to Noah's house and roasted marshmallows on the seawall dock in the vacant lot next door. There were 5 other kids around the campfire, and they all were friendly, except for this one guy, Tyler. I remember hanging with him previous visits, and always came off as an obnoxious dick who wanted to be the center of attention. He kept making jokes that weren't funny and getting up in people's face for a laugh. Everything was going fine until he suggested we tell ghost stories. When it was my turn... Let's go down a little bit. I felt like I might as well draw from real-life experience for an extra spooky story. I told them the tale of Mr. Slim, the faceless man who stalks children while they sleep. It was hard to properly convey the fear he instills while embellishing a bit, so I added that if you don't wake up in time to catch him, he will devour your soul. Please God, don't accept this person. I told him that he's been after me since I was young, and I've been able to survive because I know exactly when he comes at night. Telling the tale reminded me of a group therapy at the mental institute when we would take turns sharing stories of what we saw in our visions. It felt really nice to just open with that. I saw something across the canal and stopped mid-sentence. It was him. I'm certain of it because I felt his gaze. That familiar, awful feeling of impending doom came over me, and I froze. It was then that Tyler grabbed me from behind and screamed in my ear. I freaked out and darted around the seawall in a panic, nearly falling into the water as he chased me laughing like a hyena. I ran back inside, locked myself in the bathroom, and cried. I heard them all laughing outside, and it felt like school all over again. I stayed there until everyone left, and Noah came in to apologize to me for Tyler. He said he's not inviting him to his birthday party, next birthday, and cheered me up with some leftover cake and video games. As I said goodbye to Noah today, I became very anxious. Considering that this entity seems to be interested in my family and friends, I worry that I might infect him like Kevin. But if Shadow Noah is real, what if he already is infected? On the way home, I saw the faceless suited man. I took out my phone to snap a picture, but realized that it was just a mannequin in a storefront. I also noticed that there were some pictures on my phone that I don't remember taking. One is us eating at Arby's, and another is the hallway of a hotel that we stayed at on the drive home, or drive down. Either slight memory loss is the lingering side effect of withdrawal from those caps, or a symptom of seeing that being. I'm pretty sure now that my memory lapses correlate with his presence, like taking a strong magnet to a VCR, except it was my brain. I'm unsure if the mystery drug compounded my memory loss, but to its credit, it seems to have negated the being's effects on me. Nothing paranormal ever happened to me when I was on autopilot, taking it twice daily. Maybe they were trying to help me, but regardless, it's at the cost of my soul, whether they're covert endeavors or somehow worth it for my benefit or a sovereign human being. It is just another scary campfire story. Infect him with your stupidity. Noah, buddy, you're already there. Agreed. I vaguely remember Milo's campfire story. I was honestly zoned out. I remember him saying something about a creepy man who watches him sleep before Tyler pulled the stunt. Thing is, what I do remember most was feeling the same nebulous feeling of impending doom for a brief moment as Milo ran. I thought nothing of it at the time. Now I know that I could feel the administrators present back then, too. Our family is cursed, has been for some time. Let's do this. Okay. Just woke up in the middle of the night from one of those dreams, the ones that feel very real. I was at this dark pathway surrounded by thick trees. I think it was that boardwalk that they were building by Noah's place. But in the dream, it was finished. I saw Noah down the path, holding a camera running towards me. As he ran past me, I felt Mr. Slim's presence immediately. Then I turned my head right and realized he was right next to me with those black tendrils protruding from his body. When I look up, his head turned to me. The tendrils began to wrap around me and I couldn't move or breathe. I woke up choking for air. Oscar is doing this thing again where he's standing as still as a statue and on my desk staring out the window. He only does this some nights, but I'm noticing a trend that more often than not seems to coincide with these dreams and this man. There's someone in a hoodie walking way down my street now. It's 4 a.m. This is the 7th time I've seen them. I think they're taking pictures. It's too dark to make... Okay, so I'm writing this just now and there's a piercing scream. It's from my mom's room. It's John and he's yelling now. What the fuck, Mary? What the fuck are you doing this time? And I can hear my mom crying. A glass just broke. I can't make out what she's saying in between sobs, but John just said, for the last time, I have no idea who this fucking guy is. Have you lost your goddamn mind? John says she's gotta see a head doctor because something's not right upstairs. He said that mom's gotta get on some psycho meds, and she's crying. No, this is not the first time I've woken up to them arguing, but this is the first time I was awake to hear it start. This time is particularly bad, and I'm not going out to investigate, but there's no way I'm going back to sleep now. It's been an hour, and things have quieted down. I took a peek outside to see John on the couch watching TV. I know he's going to be cranky today because he's missed out on sleep again. Not looking forward to that. The glass breaking reminds me of that night with Kevin and the spirit board. After everything's been going down, I'm considering trying it again. Maybe the spirits have something to say. I don't think they die. Or I don't think they lie. Happy Mother's Day, Mary Asher. May you burn in hell for what you've done. I mean, she's done a lot. Will you say the same about John on Father's Day? No, John only made the mistake of falling in love with the cursed witch. He's doing the same thing as Grandpa does. Just talking in German now. I'm running in a deep, dark forest. There are towering trees surrounding me, taller than I've ever seen before. Something is definitely chasing me, but I don't dare turn around to see what it is. I hide behind a thick tree and catch my breath. I carve the eye symbol into the trunk with a spoon. I don't know how you do that, but okay. Someone says my name behind me. I turn around to find a clearing. In the center, illuminated by moonlight, is a safe. It doesn't look like my mom's safe. It's different. It has a knob, a keyhole, and buttons. Out of the shadows comes a man. It's a dark version of me. He reaches his closed hand out to me. I reach mine. He drops something into my hand. It's a key. It has a black plastic handle. I look up to the dark me, but I can't speak. He lifts his head up to look at the moon. Blood pours from a gash in his neck. I try to speak again and feel warmth running down my chest. Before I can touch my neck, I wake. The powers that be really want me to get into Mom's safe. When she left for her secret meeting, I searched around the house. The alternate me wants to find this key. I looked in all the spots I remember seeing keys, but all of them are full metal and none have the plastic top. I found one that was at least shaped similarly in the kitchen that I swore was for an old car, but I went into Mom's room to try it on the safe. There was no safe. Only an imprint on the floor where the safe used to sit. I looked all over her room, all over the house, but there was nothing. I'm not sure what to make of the dreams yet, but there's got to be something very important there they want me to get my hands on. And better news, Noah called today and invited me over in June for a camping trip. I had money saved up for a Wii, but I'd much rather spend my time hanging with Noah for a few days instead of playing video games alone. I asked Mom for permission and she took a while to respond, but eventually said sure, and I booked my ticket immediately after. You're 19 almost. Why do you gotta still ask your mom if you can go places? I don't understand it, but okay. I just heard the whispers again. I tried to record it on my phone, but it's just some screechy feedback. You remember when this didn't feel like a fan fiction, right? Oh, it's so bad now. After I went through the standard routine with my psychiatrist, I said goodbye to John and Mom and took a taxi to the airport. This was my first time flying on a plane on my own, so I was a little nervous, and it was less scary than I anticipated. There was this nice lady sitting next to me, and we had a conversation about filmmaking the whole flight. Noah and his dad picked me up, and just being in their company lifted my spirits to a place they hadn't been in a long time, cracking jokes and telling stories all the way back to Noah's house. I'm glad I didn't end up buying a Wii because Noah already had one, and we played the new re-release of Resident Evil 4, which was awesome. After that, we got our camping gear together and drove off to the campsite. This was also my first time ever camping. The prospect of being alone in the woods honestly gives me the creeps. Me too. Maybe. Because I always have had nightmares of being chased through them and figured Mr. Slim was out from blood. However, being with Noah and Uncle Alex made me feel really comfortable and safe, so I was actually pretty excited to be amongst nature. We drove about 50 miles inland before we reached the parking lot. There were some deer grazing really close to us, and I snapped a good pic of them. It was really hot, but we had to walk along this trail the rest of the way to get to the campsite. I swore I saw someone in the trees, but Uncle Alex said that we're not the only ones out here since there are other cars. We came across the wooden structure, and Alex said he and his buddies used to play in it, and we camped here back when he was a teen. Or when he camped back here when he was a teen. There was more walking before we reached another wooden tower, and he said that we were close. Finally, we made it to the campsite, which really didn't look all that different than any other clearings we passed. While Noah's dad set up our tents, Noah and I chased some squirrels that were nearby, and I got a really close-up pic of one. It was starting to get dark, so we lit a campfire, and we roasted some hot dogs and marshmallows and cooked some beans. The fire we made was much better than last year, and it was just us, so it felt even more special. While talking about it, the subject of Noah's house fire came up. I asked more about it since I barely knew anything about what went down, and I could relate. Alex said that the fire happened on October 10th, 1998, and it was some sort of electrical deal or something like a short circuit that started due to some faulty wiring in the breaker box. Noah's parents were out at a concert, and he was left home with the babysitter. She was sleeping in front of the TV, and the fumes knocked her out, so she got burned really bad. But Noah was found unharmed by the firefighter sleeping in his room. Then Alex said that my mom flew down immediately after to offer the family some aid, like the very next day. I love this needless info, too. I'm just... We still have 2 hours left of this shit, too. I thought back to the time and vaguely recall her leaving for Florida in 1998, but only because she let me stay over at Kevin's house that Friday. Thing is, I don't think she ever mentioned anything about the fire until after she got back home. I instantly fell sick to my stomach and asked to be excused so I could go to bed. Why would she do that? There's no legitimate reason I can think of. I know she had an ongoing feud with her sister over the way Karl treated her, but the fighting never got that bad. I don't want to think she did it, but where there's smoke, there's fire. I don't remember much of the day, the fire back when I was 7, but Mary did come down. She was also so very kind to us, and we were so thankful at the time. It almost felt apologetic in retrospect. 8 years, there are no more celebrations. Beck. I'm tired. Been tired for 8 years, and every second is an eternity more. Pause. I woke up alone in the darkness. As my eyes adjusted to the surroundings and I looked around, I panicked. I was in the forest, but it was a very different forest. It was far denser, the trees were taller, and it was much colder than when I went to bed. It was the forest from my dreams. I emerged from a thick haze blanketing the ground and got some footing. The crickets were deafening, and I could see my breath. Looking up, I realized just how strikingly bright the stars were. I'd never seen so many before in my life, other than in space posters. I took out my phone and called Noah. No signal, low battery. This was either the most vivid forward stream I've ever had, or I'd somehow sleepwalked far away from the campsite. I started walking toward the brightest star I could make out, and was advised by a hiking survival handbook I read once. If I follow the North Star due north, I can use it to navigate in place of a compass. I used my phone's flashlight as a light at first, but decided to turn it off to conserve battery. The full moon provided plenty of light to illuminate the path ahead. Then I saw a dim light flickering off the trees. I ventured closer and saw that it was from a large, crackling campfire with a sizable tent behind it. I was about to run over for help, but then I stopped in my tracks. I could make out a man sitting at a table by the fire. He was sharpening a big knife, making as little noise as possible. I backed up and went in the opposite direction, as far as I wanted to be near that fire, or as much as I wanted to be near that fire to warm up. I really don't want to be near that man or his big knife. Hey, is that Habit? Is that Habit? I still had a spoon in my cargo pants pocket from dinner, so I began carving the eye symbol on a bunch of trees, like I had done in my dream. I figured this was the shadow being's way of showing me how to protect myself from evil. Eventually, I came across a clear stream and couldn't help myself but drink from it to moisten my parched throat. I heard a rustling in front of me, and an animal came out of the darkness across the water. It was a fox. It limped towards me, wheezing pathetically. As I got closer, I could see it was badly injured. The fur was covered in patches of blood, and one of its hind legs was twisted and broken. But it didn't seem afraid of me at all. As it sat across from me and turned its head to drink, I held my breath in a gasp. One of its eyeballs was dangling from its socket by a glistening red thread. I was sufficiently disturbed, half of the fox's gruesome state, and half because it occurred to me that I had dreamt of this exact animal before in my youth. Suddenly, its head shot up and stared me with this one working eye, or stared at me. It felt like it was looking right through me, but I quickly realized it was looking past me. What I was feeling was another's gaze. I turned and froze solid. From amongst the trees, Mr. Sloan leered at us. That moment was the most terrified I had ever felt in my entire life, seeing the absurdly tall, faceless humanoid figure in formal attire from my darkest nightmares. Now, keep that paused. As still as the trees right in front of me, the feeling of his lingering gaze was so much more potent than it had ever been before. My skin crawled, my hair became needles, and my blood ran ice cold. I was mentally and physically petrified. I couldn't move a muscle. Couldn't even blink. It felt like a waking sleep paralysis. I was absolutely helpless in that moment. After what seemed like an eternity, his head moved slightly, and I broke from my trance. I shot up backwards and darted away as fast as I could, leaving the poor immobilized...
I'm going to give the people what they want. Sensation, horror, shock.
Thank you, Deanna Laurie Serenell, for subscribing to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. I sprinted aimlessly into the dense, stagnant fog, almost said frog, for a good while before stopping to rest at the trunk of a large tree. I was playing out my dreams now. I carved a symbol into the bark and hid in a small alcove underneath a fat root. A fat root, ooh. I heard noises approach and kept my mouth silent. Some sort of odd clicking sound echoed off the trees, and I took out my phone and recorded it. After I started recording, I slipped and cut my hand on a sharp root, letting out a tiny yelp. The clicking immediately stopped. I felt him uncomfortably close now. I sobbed, convinced that this was where I would die at the hands of the boogeyman. Out of nowhere, a nearby shout cracked through the silence. Here! Over here! I got up to peek. Mr. Slim was directly over my hiding spot. But he was facing a man. It was a shadow man. Half obscured by milky mist. Run, Milo, run. I sprung to my feet and fled, not looking back. Hey, Squatchin. What's that, my girl? I didn't make out... I was so perplexed at what had just transpired that I didn't make out the back of the tent that I had come across previously and ran right into it. The cloth engulfed me, and the men inside began shouting in confusion as the tent walls collapsed around them. I jumped from the chaos and back into the woods. I took a quick glance back to catch the man at the table standing, peering in my direction. When I turned back around, I slammed face first into a tree. I awoke terribly sore inside the first wooden tower we came across on the way to our camping site. It was still dark out, so in my delirium, I figured that I had sleepwalked here and had a terrible nightmare. I retraced my steps and reached our camp at the break of sunrise. Uncle Alex came out from his tent right as I was getting back in ours, and asked what was up. I said I'd come back from taking a leak. He asked if I had a good night's sleep. I said I had a nightmare. Noah was still fast asleep, and I got back into my sleeping bag to write down my dream. That's when I noticed a fresh scar on my hand that had never been there before, right in the spot where the root had cut it in my nightmare. I checked my phone. One missed call to Noah. Photos I don't remember taking. A new audio clip. It wasn't a nightmare. That instance marked the second most terrifying moment of my entire life, realizing that the first moment was real. Woof! The large print gives and small print takes away. I don't know how much I can read of this. I don't know how much more I can read, guys. I'm trying. I might have to call it here. My voice is really hurting me. How much more of this reading shit do we have? Are we? Oh God, we're almost done with this part of the reading. And there's another video that's supposed to be coming up, apparently. Do I want to keep going and get through this? Or do I want to keep just wait till the next time? I don't know. My voice is exhausted, guys. What do you think? Should we keep going till we get past this video, or should we call it? I say go to sleep. Oh, I wish I could, man. I wish I could. I still got things that I need to do today. Capitan, that's your fault. I've been streaming for over an hour. There's so much reading. There's another, 6 minutes of, reading. Fine. We'll get through the video. It's been an hour, yeah. See if we can get through this damn video so we can move on to something else. Or, well, yeah, let's try and get through the video. Let's see how much longer I can hold out. On the morning drive back, I was silent. My head was replaying the events of the last night on repeat. It was real. It all actually fucking happened. I charged my phone in the car and listened to the audio that I recorded. It cuts to some loud screech before the Shadow Man shouted. But that nearby clicking sound will haunt me for as long as I live. The fact that it felt vaguely familiar to me gave me chills every time I played it. I had Noah listen to it and said that it sounded like a wooden crank. One of the pics I don't remember taking that shocked me was a glitched phone photo of trees. But if you looked closely, you could see that what looks like Mr. Slim. I showed it to Noah, and to my surprise, he said, yeah, it looks kind of like a man. Uncle Alex said that he didn't see anything but trees, to which Noah disagreed firmly. I tried not to freak out. Alex said it must be like one of those rabbit duck. I can't believe I just read that as dick. Rabbit duck illusions he couldn't see. He stopped at the rest stop, and I ran to the bathroom to vomit. There was a little blood, but I felt much better afterwards. Could have been the camp food, probably just car sickness, I hope. Arriving back at Noah's place, I wanted to put everything I experienced behind me and get back into the blissfully ignorant mindset of enjoying my time at Noah's. So I wanted to just have a gaming marathon for the rest of the day. His parents went out for the day and weren't going to be back until later, so we just played video games. After lunch, we walked back to Noah's room, and there he was. Mr. Slim was right fucking there, standing at the end of the hallway. We screamed and ran to the pantry to hide. I was completely terrified, but also in awe at his confirmation. Noah really did see him too. You can see him, I asked. Who the fuck is that? Noah whispered, hyperventilating. The mix of fear and elation clashed within me like oil and water. And as I looked in his frightened eyes in the dim light of the pantry, I had a flashing of a vision from 10 years ago. Shadow Noah wanted me to help Noah. At that moment, I wanted to stop time and tell him everything that had happened. But instead, in that moment, Noah looked behind me and screamed. I turned and was forced to face point blank with a black tie. We held each other and screamed. I can't read. The last thing I saw was pitch black tendrils wrapping around us, plunging the pantry into darkness. Or blackness. Whatever. I woke up with a jolt to Noah yelling. He was cheering. I was on the bed as he sat playing Resident Evil 4. I waited for a second and asked what happened. He said he just defeated the U3 boss. The one with the dropping cages. He went on explaining how it had taken him a long time to beat it before apologizing for waking me. He said that after lunch he played the game while we took a nap. I asked what about hiding in the pantry from the big man. He thought I was talking about Resident Evil and told me how he already passed that level while I was asleep. He went back to playing as I sat there dumbfounded. I whipped out my phone and brought up a pic of Mr. Slim in the trees and asked if Noah remembers seeing this man, and he replied, I don't see a man, there's just trees. And he had been wiped. I asked what meds he takes, if he takes any capsules. He said other than antibiotics when sick, nothing. He went back to playing. I cried silently behind him. I saw so much of myself in him, my childhood innocence, now shattered beyond repair, my love of gaming, now reduced to a distraction from reality, my unknowing mind, now pried open and raw for the buzzards to pick at. So edgy. Ooh. I might. I don't know. I don't play much Resident Evil. I played the 2 and 3 remake when they came out, and then I haven't played them since. He's cursed like me, but doesn't even realize it yet. Although I'm truly happy that he's had the luxury of being oblivious to his dormant affliction for 16 years, unlike myself. I think it's only because I'm the current target. Maybe I'm just keeping his sickness at bay because Mr. Slim is focused on me. Everyone I've seen with a dark counterpart must be vulnerable. This means that Mom can definitely see him. Karl must be able to, and maybe even Kevin too. I know this latent state is temporary for Noah. It's only a matter of time before it comes creeping into his life too. But he won't be prepared like I was, growing up with it from infancy. I never wanted to get Noah involved in the tangles of my problems, but realizing that it's really a shared condition and that this misfortune may be inescapable for him brought me over the edge to a point beyond the ability to enjoy my stay. I thanked a phone call and said my plane had a last-minute reschedule, so I had to leave immediately. As I'm writing this now from a plane home, I'm realizing I left some of my games. I don't think I'll message him about it. Noah is my best friend, but I'm not sure if I should even keep contacting him. If my fate is inevitable for him and being in contact puts him in danger, I want to protect him as long as possible by keeping my distance. I don't remember the pantry incident. I only remember playing Resident Evil with Milo. I do remember the photo he showed me now, and now I can clearly see who he was talking about. More than not, when I look back, I feel like I was blind. Milo never asked me for his games back, and he never thanked me after I sent them back. After that visit, our phone calls became less and less frequent. I thought maybe either I had upset him somehow, or he was just going through a lot back home since he always mentioned that his mom was a bitch. I knew he visited many psychiatrists, but he never discussed with me, so I wrote his aloofness off to personal mental issues all those years. Knowing the truth now, I really don't blame him for keeping quiet to spare me from the turmoil for as long as possible. He took it upon himself to bear the full weight of that burden, which is inspiring and brave beyond my abilities. He was really a true friend, and I owe him more than I can ever repay. So much writing. I'm 19 now. I woke up to Oscar sitting on my chest, licking my face. At least someone cares it's my birthday. I don't really have birthday parties anymore. What usually happens now is that I wake up to a card from John and Mom with a meager amount of cash and an extra nice meal if I'm lucky. I know money's tight right now, but the love I'm receiving feels so corporate. Like it's only there for the sake of keeping my appearances. I'm glad I have a roof over my head and food to eat, but more and more I feel like I'm a rat in a cage disguised as a home. I will escape this cage one day, but until then I must deal with the cards I've been dealt. These awful, terrible cards. Despite my unfortunate hand, I'm still in the game. Today I decided to treat myself to doing something that's been on my mind for a while, buying myself a camcorder. I've always wanted to have my very own video camera, so I figured why not just go out and buy one. I have enough money saved up from work, and the birthday cash helps too. I've been reading several books about film production, and I want to maybe get involved in the film industry someday. Excuse me, sorry. So I might as well start somewhere. I asked John to drive me to Best Buy because Mom was asleep past noon. Again. We picked out a decent camera for $500 and some tapes. John admitted they hadn't bothered to get me a cake due to some argument, so he took me out to eat at my favorite restaurant. This little family-run German place, which I honestly preferred to some store-bought cake. Some of my best times now are spent alone bonding with John, and it's always different when Mom is there with us. He always talks about how Mom has changed, how he's grown more distant, and that magic he felt years ago isn't there. I think deep down, we both know the relationship is on the rocks. I feel so bad for John. He's a genuinely good person, and he certainly deserves better than the likes of my mom. Leaving the restaurant, I saw Mr. Slim in the parking lot clear as day. As much as videography was on my mind, so was the prospect of capturing evidence of this creature. I grabbed the camera package tight as we drove away. Or tight, I don't know what he meant. I've been wondering if I was able to catch him in a photo, maybe I could catch him on video. Even if others aren't able to notice him at first, it might be one step closer to proving my sanity. Testing the camera out, an idea hit. I'm going to set up the camera to record out my window overnight to see if I can catch the guy who's been snapping photos late at night. Tapes are reusable, so I can do this nightly until I capture whoever is doing this. I'm going to cut a hole in a tissue box, hide the camera in it, and place it in my windowsill inconspicuously. Someone thinks they can film me without me knowing. Well, two can play that. Play that game. October 7th, I'm at Karl's house. The shadow version of me is there. I follow him up the stairs into a closet I've never been inside before. He pulls aside a rack of coats and kneels to unscrew the air vent. Then I'm sitting in my chair at a dark room. I'm holding something heavy. It's a gun. My left arm is covered in wounds, and I'm in tears. Shadow Noah is standing in the doorway nearby. The door in front of me opens and someone walks in. The present fills me with a strong mix of emotions. As these feelings reach a peak, I wake. It's 4 p.m. I usually have these intense dreams when I sleep in this late. My daily routine for the past 3 weeks consists of hooking up my camera to the TV and spending a few hours fast-forwarding through nighttime surveillance footage to see if we've caught the stalker on film. So far, it's been silent, save for September 30th. Someone in a hoodie can be seen walking down the street at 3 a.m. Could be nothing, but it's very suspicious to me. So, when I went to see my psychiatrist, I asked hypothetically what it would happen if a patient was able to capture evidence of their hallucinations. She told me this story about a delusional patient she had in the 90s who was convinced that there was a man in a big coat wandering around his home at night, spying on him from the woods while he slept. One day, he came to her proclaiming he'd gotten a tape. She watched his footage, and to her surprise, there was something there on the tape. Turns out, it was just a bear. I showed her the evidence from my phone. She didn't acknowledge anything, but instead told me that she believes that I'm seeing these beings, and that if I'm able to capture what I see on film, she can help me make better sense of what I'm perceiving. I've been seeing Mr. Slim more often now, but like Night Stalker, or like the Not Stalker, he's eluded my capture so far. Trying to film him has been a string of frustrating inconveniences. Either I've not had my camera on me, or when I do, he always disappears by the time it's turned on. I've had a few really close calls at work, but I've got nothing definitive on tape yet. The video is also heavily corrupted playback at times. Either this new camera is broken, or his very presence warps electronics. Smart. Smart as such. I think Mr. Slim has some kind of mental cloaking ability that allows him to hide in plain sight. For some reason, immediate members of my family are less susceptible to it. My theory is that the more you are exposed to his presence, the more his camouflage wears off and his influence becomes apparent to you. It's just like photosensitive paper with blank until the light source is shown through a negative at it, and an image becomes visible. I think me being close to Kevin weakened the camouflage effect on him, kind of like getting radiation poisoning from being exposed to an excessive amount of high energy waves. I also believe that the more you're able to see him, the more he chooses to invade your life. For whatever reason, this being doesn't like his cover being blown. It makes me wonder who else I could have been put at risk by merely being in frequent close proximity to over the years. Maybe my extended family? What about my teachers and classmates? How about my coworkers or the neighbors? Hey, thank you for the 15, Nox. 07's in chat for the Nox, my wonderful, wonderful co-host who will be back in a couple of weeks to hang out with me again. Where was I at? Well, how about my coworkers? It's the wrong one.
Well, son, I guess you're right.
I am a butthead.
Why is it? I thought I fixed that. Okay, I'll have to go check that again. I'll have to go check that again, but that's not the right. It's not the right one. Hold on. Let me play the right one for you, Nox. Do 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 do. Pulling up Streamlabs. Do 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 do. Pulling up Streamlabs. Do 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 do. Pulling up Streamlabs. Why is it playing that? Variations. There. Okay, there. It shouldn't play that one anymore. I don't know why it wasn't fixed. What does the other one say? Pause. Full pause. Okay, so it is 30. That's... Okay, cool. It's fixed. Yay. There you go. Now you got what you wanted. Happy. Happy-go-lucky. No, you're good. Neighbors, stepdad, the mailman, Oscar, who knows, but I think that if I'm able to capture hard visual validation of Mr. Slim on tape, my biannual checkup in June, and proved to Dr. Garner that he is a real entity, I can make a case that I'm not schizophrenic after all. I don't expect for her to spot him instantly, but considering how we have an established history together, it might not take all that much to reveal him. She may very well see him just as soon as Noah did. I do realize that this potentially puts Dr. Garner in danger, but it's a risk I'm willing to take at this point. If she believes me, I'll have a reputable ally in the scientific community to vouch for my claims, and maybe then some actual progress can be made. Until then, the only thing I have to look forward to is eating New York food. Elizabeth and Will Adler are getting formally recognized in a ceremony for scholastic achievement in December, and Mom and I are flying up north to attend. I eavesdropped on Mom and John talking in the middle of the night, and she mentioned something about visiting Grandpa Karl for something important. If we do stop by his house for whatever reason, I'm going to try and find that closet vent. I'm pretty sure that's where he's hidden his journal. I think this is the last one before... Maybe before last one before we go to the video or whatever. We flew into New York yesterday. It occurred to me, as we landed, I haven't been to New York in 10 years. Man, did I miss the food here. I'm sure I ate my weight in pizza alone. The Adler kids were already grown, or have already grown. I almost don't recognize them in their formal attire, and their personalities are very unlike what I remember. They seem like completely different people. I guess a decade will do that. We've spent a good while catching up, and it felt really nice reacquainting with one another. Only a few students in their entire university received such accolades for exemplary academic performance, so I felt proud to be related to them. I didn't really know my Grandma Sonia well, but I wish she could have been there to see her sister's grandchildren be so distinguished. Aunt Steph saw me show off my camera and asked if I could film them as they walked to accept their awards since their camera was broken, and I agreed. Good thing I brought extra tapes. I still have to review last week of night footage. I've honestly gotten lazy due to results. Before we left for the ceremony in the afternoon. Mom complained of severe abdominal pain and said to go without her and that she'd meet us up there. Of course, she never showed up. I already knew she was lying. It's Friday and her secret special meetings are more important than celebrating her own family. Despicable. At the auditorium, Aunt Sharon was there. I sat next to her and asked about Noah. She said he and his dad weren't able to make it for monetary reasons. I was relieved, honestly. The less exposure he has to me, the better. I feel bad about not calling him for his birthday, but the less contact, the better. I went on to film the ceremony, but had to stop shooting before the closing statements because I had foolishly neglected to charge my camera overnight, and the battery had died on me. No sooner had I realized this than I caught a glimpse of Mr. Slim. He was behind a promenade window above the farthest seats across the arena, overlooking the auditorium. Yeah, she'd be cheating. I tried to boot up my camera, but there was no juice. Typical ill-timed circumstances. It's like he knows. I had trained myself for this moment, though. In one swift motion, I flipped out my phone and snapped a pic. He was gone as soon as the snapshot noise chimed, but this time I got the son of a bitch. The image glitched, and I didn't get his full form, but there was clearly something there, darker than the rest. I could almost make out branch-like tendrils. As everyone began to stand up to exit, I was the most ecstatic person in the room. This was just a small step in acquiring evidence and wouldn't hold up on its own, but a step forward nonetheless. What is a lake but accumulation of many drops? I'm going to allow myself to sleep soundly tonight. Any progress deserves to feels really, really good. He make a no sense. He make a no to English. I was under the impression from Mom that we were going to leave shortly after the awards ceremony, but apparently we're staying through New Year's for a change. I'm grateful that the Adler family was gracious enough to house us for that long. We spent the holidays with them, and I had a really good time. It really felt like the old family reunions we used to have back when times were simpler and happiness was in abundance. I was having such a good time with the Adlers that I didn't even notice Mom leave last night. I thought she never showed up. I was still riding the high of snagging that photo when she abruptly took me aside during game night and said we're leaving for an important meeting soon. Yeah, I thought she hadn't shown up. My contentment was shattered. I didn't want to go to any of her shady secret meetings, but I knew better than to question her, lest I wished to blow my faux medicated cover. Medicating me tends to follow orders without question. I reluctantly got dressed and followed her outside. There was a car waiting for us. To my surprise, the driver was Aunt Sharon. I assumed she was also in the cult. I tried my best to remain calm, but I was already thoroughly freaking out. She asked my mom why my mom was bringing me. My mom replied, either he comes along to see him or the deal is off. I want Milo to speak to him. Sharon conceded with a heavy sigh, and we drove off. I was panicking internally, not knowing what was happening, and unable to bring myself to ask anything in fear of giving myself away to Mom. The sisters were behaving alarmingly civil. Something seemed right. In my nervous rush, I had left my camera and phone in my backpack. I felt naked without them, utterly defenseless. First, we pulled up to a unfamiliar house, and a quiet man with a stack of folders got in the back seat across from me. Next, we pulled into a Burger King drive-thru, and Sharon ordered 5 meals. Oddly enough, this scared me even more, only adding to the sheer confusion of the situation. Finally, after a drive along enough to make the burgers cold, we parked on a familiar street. We were at Grandpa Karl's house. First, we iron out the legalities. Milo can come in, and after we're done. I don't want any issues with Dad, Sharon said. Mom agreed and told me, stay here and eat. We will come back for you after we're done sorting things out. She gave me an abnormally long glare before breaking eye contact, as if to insinuate something unsaid. The sisters and the mystery man left the car with their food and rang the doorbell. Mom stayed out of view as Karl answered the door to Sharon. He looked much older, his hair had fallen out, and he walked with a limp. She and the man exchanged words with Karl before they looked past to see Mom, and a commotion erupted. Karl tried to shut the door, but Mom stuck her foot in and ushered everyone inside. The door slammed shut, and I was left in silence, forced to breathe the stench of paper bag wrapped fast food. They were confronting Karl about a legal matter. It didn't seem to be cult-related so far, but why did Mom need to speak to him all of a sudden? I was a bit dizzy from the stress and not hungry in the least, so I opened the car door to get some fresh air. Maybe this wasn't a cult meeting. Maybe this was just a Karl meeting. I reevaluated my predicament. Mom could have simply just left me with the Adlers, or even back home with John. We spent a lot of cash on those plane tickets. I was beginning to think that she brought me along deliberately. Maybe she's counting on me to nab the magic journal. That had to be why I was here. Front door's unlocked. I knew where to look. I could sneak in if I dared. Should I do that when she wants me to? Or should I do what she wants me to? What they want me to? Is it even a good idea to steal it? I felt an uncanny attraction to that damn book for years. Fuck it, I thought. I was so close before, and I don't know the next time I'll have such an opportunity. If anything, I could swipe it covertly without anyone knowing, so I could find out for myself why it was so sought after. So I left the car, went to the door, and entered as quietly as I could. I didn't have to try hard, because the shouting in the kitchen masked the noise I made in the foyer. I moved to the adjacent room and listened in. They were discussing Karl's will. An unknown man seemed to be a translator. At first, I wondered why he was there, considering my mom knows German. Either he was there for legal counsel, or Sharon probably hired him because she doesn't trust Mom, and I wouldn't blame her. It was clear that Karl was not being cooperative. Sharon was calm and collected, but Mom was heated. Eventually, she said, "What's going to happen to that book when you go, Dad?" I heard Karl light a cigarette and mutter something before coughing. The man translated, "Little girls shouldn't be allowed to play with matches when they enjoy lighting fires." Mom was furious at this, and I smiled wide to myself. I couldn't help but admire the gall my grandfather had for holding his own against her. Sharon took hold of the conversation and mentioned appraising the collection of expensive china dishware held in the room I was currently in. I quickly snuck out as they entered and turned on the light. I tiptoed upstairs, retracing my dream like I'd done years ago. I entered the closet, turned on the light, and located the vent. I didn't have a screwdriver, so I plucked a thin button from one of the coats and used it to loosen the screws and remove the vent. There it was, the ammunition box. Nostalgia rushed through me as I unlatched it. I took out the old satchel and removed the leather-bound journal. It was surreal to hold it again. I untied it and flipped through pages. It was pages upon pages of German writing with some odd drawings. Depictions of Mr. Slim were among them. Suddenly, I came across something that my mind couldn't make sense of. I still cannot find the words to accurately explain or recall what it was. I felt the intense vibe that I had only felt once before, and I had last seen it in 1996. I touched it. I felt nothing on my skin as the fingertips passed over it, but a bizarre sensation flowed through me that I can only describe as an ineffably strong connection to some divine power far beyond my comprehension. In that moment, it was as if millions of wondering eyes had all turned to stare at me at once. I felt him. He was very near. There was an abrupt, piercing shriek from downstairs. It was Karl. Das Kind ist hier. I probably pronounced that wrong, but whatever. Yeah, it's personal diary for... Yeah, it was his personal diary. A lot of it's meaningless, but... I kind of have to go through it, or else I'm going to get a lot of shit for skipping stuff that possibly could be important. I leaped up and ran down the stairs with this holy tome that felt alive in my hands, adrenaline racing. I could hear bounding from across the house towards me. I made it to the front door, opened it, and was blocked by a dark figure. Shadow Karl. "Nicht," he whispered. Before I had the chance to react, I was checked in the jaw by an elbow and fell to the floor. Karl pried the journal from my grip and held it tight as the others entered the scene. Karl ran downstairs to the basement as Mom gave chase, both screaming in German at each other. Karl kept repeating the same line over and over. Sharon, bewildered, asked the trembling translator what he was saying. The man gulped and translated, "The child tried to kill us all. The child tried to kill us all." Would you like word salad with your nothing burger? Exactly. I agree. And still more. Still more. The past 3 days, I've been a nervous wreck. I'm unsure if Mom is aware of my mental sovereignty or not, given my actions, but at Karl's, she came back up from the basement, snatched up the folders, and said we have to go. Sharon refused, as the will had not been signed yet. However, as we all left quickly once Karl returned, shotgun drawn. He kicked us out into the night. Mom was surprisingly calm, and Sharon was the furious one. The translator man was shaking from the ordeal and called the cab home. The drive home was a blur of fighting and stale fast food stink. I wrote the last entry in the early morning locked in the bathroom, nursing my aching jaw. In the morning after she saw me swallow my capsule to regurgitate later, Mom took me aside, gave me an ice pack, and asked how I was feeling. I said my jaw is sore, but I'm okay. I decided to roll the dice and take a chance playing the fool. I asked what had happened last night and claimed that all I remember was being in the car. She said that we went to Grandpa Karl's house to notarize his will, but it didn't get signed because he had a violent manic episode, and we had to leave in a hurry. She went on explaining that I hit my head, and Sharon stopped short on the drive home. Or when she stopped short on the drive home. I played along as if it had all actually happened. She said, "There will be more opportunities." Her placid demeanor made me uneasy. I'm pretty sure that she intended for me to get that journal. And had I been taking those caps regularly, I think that I may have done the same thing. Even when fully medicated, I still remember feeling gravitational pull towards the vague concept of a book I couldn't rationalize in that state. I think that's why I gravitated to that library job. I just don't know if I would have been any more successful had I been under the medication spell. I hesitated plenty. Who knows what she's thinking? Last night, after the ball dropped to usher in 2008, Mom called and stepped out of the room. Or Mom got a call and stepped out of the room. I figured it was John with New Year's Eve wishes, but I don't think it was. "What do you mean he filed a restraining order? Just us, not Sharon? What the fuck? This is bullshit." All this over a goddamn book. There's something terrible special about it, beyond my understanding, and it frightens me, to be honest. Maybe it's best that I didn't get it. No doubt Mom would know if I had it, because Karl would be losing his shit once he realized it was missing. And I'm sure he has some kind of deep connection to it, so he would have known immediately. And feeling what I felt, there's no telling what would happen if the likes of my mom got control over it. Also, I was scanning through that week of surveillance footage tonight, and something caught my eye. For a moment, I saw a flash. I rewound and replayed. I got him. From behind the tree, something emerged for no more than a second to snap a photo. If I would have blinked, I would have missed it. The person had walked across the street in such a way as to perfectly conceal themselves behind the tree, out of view of my window. I slowed the playback frame by frame and stopped the moment right before the flash. I got up close to the TV to get a better look. I couldn't believe what I saw. I rubbed my eyes to look again. It was difficult to make out, but the face I saw made my heart skip uncomfortably. Behind a shiny pair of glasses was what looked exactly like the face of Kevin Haas. Like an avalanche, my mind was lost in a flurry of thoughts. I had forgotten about Kevin. He'd been slowly drifting away from me for a long time, becoming increasingly reclusive, and stopped answering his phone. But after high school ended, it was like he disappeared. He had tried to do some freelance work in the past, but the last time I spoke to him, I remember him saying that he landed a full-time assistant job at some startup called Ricola Events. I looked up Ricola Events on Adler's computer, but I couldn't find any company matching that name in our area, or in all of Alabama for that matter. I still had his number in my phone, and I dialed it. The number had been disconnected. There was no doubt in my mind that I invited Mr. Slim into his life anymore. Was he lying? What has he been doing? Why is he taking candid photos of me while I fucking sleep? Is he working for the cult now, for Mom? This visit north has turned from one of the best trips I've had in years into one of the most alarming. I'm going to try and find him when I get home. Okay, just woke up from a dream I can't forget. I followed shadow me into the garage. He pointed to the entrance to the attic. This must be where the safe is hidden. I can't fucking wait to get home. Alright, what does it say? Everything is in German. You are all guilty of enjoying my misfortunes, of joking about my pain, of mocking my failure, and of betting on my suffering. But to enjoy the pleasure of harm will only bring you so far. Your torment will not go unnoticed. I would be careful if I were you. Okay, what does that say? Someday I'll be a god, and I want to be the worst thing that ever happened to you because you tortured me. Do you understand? I want to be the only nightmare you've ever had, and I'll laugh at your fear like you laughed at me. I'm watching. Oh, quit being a fucking piss baby and just upload the next video already, you sauerkraut. You're lucky anyone even cares about your shit. Milo didn't have anyone his whole life, and he didn't gripe as much as you. He was a god among men. True gods don't whine. They get shit done. I'm guessing that's Firebrand. I came out to have a good time, and I'm honestly feeling so attacked now. Okay? There are voices in my head, don't you forget. It's been exactly 8 years since you posted the first video, and 382 days, 14 hours, and 9 minutes since you last uploaded any footage. Even Vinny just posted. Where's the rendezvous? You're already 1 minute late. Eyes. Firebrand. I'm glad you can still count. It's a huge video. The export time is very long. A god can wait. And fuck you very much. You've broken my timestamp streak of consecutive ones. This is like the worst kind of, like, the voices in my head are taking over I've ever seen. I forgot to use a codec when exporting and wasted hours taking 58 gigabyte size shit. You never forgot how to ride a bike, but you can still fall off the damn bike. I'm rolling my eyes still, guys. Rolling my eyes. No matter who or what I become in the future, I will always be myself. No, you'll be, well, maybe, yeah, you'll be a schizophrenic. I'm my own best friend, whether I like it or not. Hey, look, guys, we can do the thing now. So yeah, that's how I got back. Okay, guys. You ready? 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 2 minutes. You ready? It's gonna be 2 minutes. Begin. 2 minutes of 0.25. You asked for this. All of you asked for this. You paid for it. You're getting it. Now that we finally have a video. Minute 31. You can suffer with me, ladies and gentlemen. Mostly gentlemen. You are looking at absolute cringe. And you're going to be looking at it for another 50 seconds at 0.25. And then we got 4 minutes at 0.5. So, suffer. Suffer with me. Every second you get to suffer with me. This is just how it be. I hate everything about this. I hate it all. I need some cocaine right now. With how bad this is. 18 seconds. And then we get to have fun at 0.5 for 4 minutes. This is so fucking bad. Oh, I hate it. 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 I don't even know what he's saying. Alright, there's your 4 minutes. Or 2 minutes. Alright, 4 minutes at 0.5. Let's go. Let's do it. You asked for this, guys.
I can do this. I can fucking do this.
You are powerful. You are great. You can do this. DBZA reference. Let's go.
I'm here.
Are you? Are you? I don't think you're mentally here.
Spook me.
Oh, here it is.
Make me your dish. I dare you.
Oh, Spectre. God damn it. After this, we got another 2 minutes of 0.25. Y'all are killing me. Y'all are fucking killing me. You really are. This red filter is blowing my mind in the worst possible way. I appreciate it because I fucking hate this so much right now. Still 3 minutes still. And then another 2 at 2.25. We're never gonna be done. That moan at the end. So, Capitan, I spoke with my husband. I'm gonna pause this really quick to answer this question. So I spoke with my husband, and I'm gonna wait until I have everything together to buy the next part. Purely because if I wait and go part by part, what'll happen is that I can't return it if something's wrong with the part. So while the likelihood of that happening with the case is very low, if I were to go buy the other parts, I can't put it together because I don't have a power supply. And that's probably one of the last things I'm getting. So I'm going to wait until I have everything and then buy everything at one time. And once I've got everything together, I'm going to put the PC completely together, spin it up, see if it works. If it works, beautiful. If it doesn't, I can figure out what part's not working and then send it back and be like, hey, I need a new part that actually fucking works. So, while I initially thought I was going to get part by part, it's better to do it in bulk so I can fix the problem if I have it instead of spending another 500 plus bucks to get another part because I ran out of the 30-day window to return it. Cool? Hope that makes sense. All right, let's go again. Let's finish this. Resuming. This is so fucking cringe. I'm hiding behind the bench. You'll never see me. You never see me behind the bench. I am so camouflaged. I'm so hidden. You don't know I'm here. Ooh. Huh. My brain hurts. Huh. Yeah, Spectre. Fucking murdering my brain cells. We're finishing this video and then we're calling it because it's almost already 2 hours and I'm fucking dead tired. The cringe level is over 9,000! That hurt. Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. Indeed, we are in the danger zone. 100-sided die. You gotta roll an 8. You gotta roll an 8. You gotta get out of there. You gotta get out. You gotta get out. Nope. 79. Roll a 69. Roll a 69. Do it. Apparently it's 100-sided dice and it is real, Jacob. This is so cringe, guys. We got another minute of this, and then we have another 2 minutes at 0.25. I should make it 4. Actually, no, it's 4 minutes. God damn it, because Spectre, not Spectre, because Nox also. It's 4 minutes. I hate it. I hate it. I hate all of this. Thank you for the donos, Nox, but now it's gonna be 4 minutes of 0.25 again.
4.
Look what you've done! Rolling number 9 for your mom. Roll 69 for your mom. I just keep rolling till I get it. Until I get the right number. Okay. Pause. Alright. Doing it again. I hate every single one of you. 4 minutes. At this. This is never gonna be done. It's never gonna get done. Look what you guys did. Look what you fucking did to me. Fucking did to me! Ah! We all get to suffer. We all get to fucking suffer! If you believe yours is the only way, then you're a fool who lives to die. Well, you deserve that hell you're gonna pay on the other side, once you reach the other side, once you reach the other side. Exactly, Jacob. Angry crying. Just angry crying. Forever angry crying. 3 minutes. Everything hurts. Oh, is that a test? Is that a what does it say? What does it say? What does it say? I can't read it. I can't read what that says. Focus, motherfucker. You will never find the journal. Ouch. There is a devil, and he made this video. Uh-huh. I'm so scary. Oh, no. Ah, go away. Go away. Oh, those teeth are nasty. Go away. I don't like this. Turn the camera back. Turn the camera back. Turn the camera back. 2 minutes. Turn it away. Turn it away. You got... Look what you guys have done. Look what you've done. Look what you've done. Go away. Go away. Thank you for turning it away. Thank you. Huh. Smiley face. Everybody hurts. Everybody cries. I hate every minute of this. You smiley face motherfucker. Minute. So cute! Don't ever say it like that again. No, I swear to fucking God. Pidgey for 5. All the lawyers of defense are defenseless. All the doctors are diseased. And the preachers are the sinners. And the police just take the grease. Brush your teeth, Noah. Yup. 1 minute. You gotta suffer through another minute of this with me, guys. Another full minute of just cringy slowness that hurts my soul. That makes me wanna... I'm not gonna finish that because you two will be pissed off. Welcome to prime time, bitch! Freddy makes everything better. Ugh. 30 seconds, guys. 30 seconds so we can go back to normalcy for a second. 15 seconds. Ooh, slow burn, slow. What is that? What is all of that? It's the grass. Thank you, sweet baby fucking Jesus. We're going back to 1.5 speed. Thank you, God. They're people. Looks like a snake or something. They talk to me, they understand, they talk to me. I love it. It's an arcade out of nowhere! Flickety, 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 flickety. Ew. Disgusting. Ew. Oh, hi. Hi, Waldo. Hi, Slendy boy.
Stupid motherfuckers.
Whoa. Fuck is all this shit, man? Oh, we still got a while, guys. We still got a bit. We still got like 20 minutes. Oh, he's gonna get you. He got you. He got your ass. Maybe Randy Orton, RKO would fix this shit, because I would not doubt it. This is such psychosis, though. Absolute psychosis, bro. Are you hacking up blood? Looks like you're hacking up blood. That's really tasty. There's a thing. What does the thing say? What does it say? Go back. What does it say? Enjoy the small things you find on your path. Is it a tampon?
I'll take it.
Nope, it's a band-aid. Why are you filming your crotch? No, why are you... That's so gross. Stop filming your crotch. We don't want to see that. We also don't want to see your feet. Well, maybe Spectre does, but I'm not Spectre. The rest of us don't want to see it. Wubba lubba wubba lubba wubba lubba. Weird noises wubba lubba wubba lubba. Ooh, thing. What's the thing? Where are thing? Thing gone. Another fortune? Just a leaf. This is what's happening in my brain.
Shit.
Slowly but surely, losing all sanity, losing all grasp on reality.
Oh boy, I wonder what this one says.
I rhymed there. Back. What did it say?
Oh boy, I wonder what this one says.
Ah. You don't need strength to let go of fear. What you really need is understanding. Okay. Oh god, here he is again. I'm not reading that, Nox. I'm not fucking reading that. Give me a hug! Give me a hug! Nox? I swear. Yeah, not. Yeah. Yeah. What does it say? Stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. I don't want to show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. I don't want to know how it goes. I'm probably already at the bottom because I just want to, like, not anymore. I'm over it. I'm tired. Can we go home now?
Everybody, have a seat, get talk.
Oh hell no. Not this shit again.
Have a seat, we have to have a conversation right now.
No! Fuck you! Thanks for buddy. You and your freak show back there can suck my ass. You're not me. You're just a doppelganger.
Take out the die.
What?
Take out the fucking die and roll it.
Sure. Here you go. Gonna roll a 72. Wow. That's impressive. Do you do children's birthday parties?
Please don't do children's birthday parties with what we know about you. Please do not. Please. Thank you, you nasty motherfucker.
It's a good read. Now, if you don't sit down and speak to me, then you're gonna be stuck here forever. So put that camera down and let's talk.
I have a choice. I literally gotta be sitting beside myself. My life's a joke and I'm a walking punchline.
This is ridiculous.
Thank you. You're such an asshole. Sorry, I just threw up. Yeah, been there. So there, really?
This is all just stupid.
A room? What does it look like?
Stay far, far away from children, please, and thank you.
I've been given to have this very conversation with you. So, you don't get up? No, we do. It's just that it ain't the last time you come. You see, after we hit Sebastian...
He said, come.
journaling, we get it on and we get plunged into this state of perpetual darkness. The dark times, I like to call it.
I'm losing my mind.
Not as far as the first guy I got you. I've been here for around a month. Just in case you haven't been keeping track, you've been here for about a week now. That other Noah, he's been here quite a while.
I need more than a hug.
Sure, we've met a few times. It wasn't pleasant.
I need
Nothing's ever pleasant in here.
I need alcohol.
This place.
Copious amounts of alcohol that I can't actually drink.
This is where the monsters live. You see, if the conditions are just right, the creature that's tormenting us can access these tiny dimensional pockets.
I'm not getting 3 glasses for this shit.
The boardwalk and our home are two of a myriad
I don't want it any closer to my face than it already is.
which they can take advantage of. Think of it this way. A 3-dimensional object casts a 2-dimensional shadow, right? This dominion is the 3-dimensional
Love you, Pidgey. Hashtag support HH's vodka fund.
mirror of our reality that they trap us in. I'm not even exactly sure if we were ever supposed to discover this place in the first place. But we're here. So, there we go. Firebrand works in mysterious ways. How can we even trust him? If he's what comes after that Noah, then let me ask you something. Who do you think's been teleporting you around this whole time? Every instance since this all started. Observer? No. His powers are limited. Tall dude? He wants to eat you. It's Firebrand. Yeah, he's the one who's been doing this. It's always been him from day one. He's keeping us safe every chance he can because he's the only one who knows.
Hashtag why is the rum gone exactly?
You got lured in here by both sides. Our side wants to strengthen you. The other side wants to break you down even further, make you into a more form-fitting pod. I'm fairly certain that Firebrand brought you here in the first place to prepare you for these inevitable dark times. Sounds more like 3 sides to me. Sounds like Firebrand don't give a fuck about what happens to us. As long as we end up turning into whatever the hell he is. He's only preserving himself. And I, for one, don't want to become that. He ain't us. He's spoken to me directly. By following his instructions, we have an opportunity to fix everything. When the time comes, we will actually have a chance, a real chance, to stop the creature. To end this.
I want all this to end. Rum and coke to bring back my hope. Yep.
Hell, once and for all.
Because we're full of so much cope.
Okay, so
This just makes me want to mope.
chance that we
Slipping down the slippery slope.
It's key to maintaining the loop, really. So that's our only option. Have you ever
Noah, this is teenage My Little Pony fanfiction bad, yeah, pretty much.
joining the collective? Huh? How about fuck destiny? What if maybe I don't want to be you? What if I don't?
Destiny! Destiny! No escaping destiny! Gotta love young Frankenstein so fucking much.
Charles Manson. Maybe I don't want to become an Egyptian god, huh? How about that?
Charles Manson and you. I don't think Charles Manson touched kids. Not that I remember. I could be wrong. Hold on. Must look at things. Must look at things. How old were they? I don't think they were teenagers. I think they were in their 20s. Manson family ages. I must know. Because I don't remember off the top of my head. Okay, 21. 19. Yeah, they were of age. They were of age at least. I'll take that. I'll take that at least.
Would you rather let them win?
Still murderers. They didn't fuck with kids.
Right now, but it took us a lot of fucking effort to get here. And if changing form is what it takes to
They were like the ones that I found that were involved in this stuff were 19 and 21, but I don't know necessarily about the entirety of them. They could have been. I wouldn't be surprised. They're all monsters. They're all monsters. They're all bad people. They're all bad. All not bueno. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if he did touch kids. Never mind, you are like Manson. Except he didn't kill anybody. Yet.
Lives in their curse, then I know.
Allegedly.
You know what you sound like? You sound like one of those cult fuckers. You're so far gone. You got suckered into believing someone else's bullshit. You know what? I think you're the puppet. You're the puppet, dude.
I have no idea, Capitan. I haven't looked into that in years.
I have proof of this, that our fate has been sealed since the 40s.
Maybe. You could be right. I don't know.
There is something contained within this journal that's so powerful that it allows Firebrand to exist on his own, separate from the collective. I can't tell you what it is, because my future self didn't tell me either. It's against Clue rules. To break that rule would be to alter your future events, my events. And we don't want that. Can I ask you something? It was crazy, but...
Because he wants to be artistic. Nox, he wants to be artistic. Could have been. We're going in circles here, Capitan. We don't know. None of us know for sure at this moment. We're saying they might have, they could have. It's possible. I think we can leave it at that. Because we really aren't going to know until I literally look in deep into that, and I don't have the energy for it today. I just don't. I wouldn't be surprised. They're bad pieces of shit, regardless. Bad, evil people. And nobody likes them. Good. Okay.
But if you want me to be on your side, if you
moving on.
Trust you, why are you, Firebrand, all these damn future versions of me, so damn cryptic? Why does communication have to be so fucking difficult all the time? Why can't you just be straight with me and tell me things straight out? Don't you think we tried that? You know,
be straight with me.
Now that I'm finally the one explaining it, this right here is a tutoring session. I'm helping you learn how to pass the final exam. If I just tell you the lesson, you're not gonna learn anything. You need to.
I'm not taking anything from this but word salad, guys.
Hands-on shit.
Word salad. Yummy. So much word salad that means nothing. Yummy.
I
hate it.
It's your move now. They love
No one can see the future.
this game. They're damn good at it. We are teaching you not only how to play
How much
this
longer
game,
do we have?
how to rig it in
A couple
your
more,
favor.
like 10
We're gonna
minutes.
stay one step ahead of them.
10 more minutes, and then we done.
Firebrand isn't being cryptic to you. He's being cryptic to them. He relays information to us in a way that's beyond.
Yeah, it feels like
He's
it.
fucking with the timeline so goddamn much that they can't reliably see ahead anymore. He is compromising their omnipotence. He's changing our fate to complete the loop. And that's why it all must play out as I remember it, or else you'll end up doing something different. That'll throw the timeline off. And
If their omnipotence can be compromised, they are not omnipotent. You just... Oh my god, you just contradicted yourself.
they'll stop us from doing what we're trying to do. And if I give away too much, they'll take advantage of my knowledge, and who knows what'll happen then. So, no, I can't tell you what makes this journal powerful. But I did show you. What in the fuck was that? Yeah, you felt that? That's right.
Yeah, you felt that? That's right. That's my dick. I hate this guy so much. I hate this guy so much. If this was a joke, I'd probably be able to deal with it, but I just can't.
That's the reason why they've been after our family since the 40s. That's why Karl's been safe for years. They want this. They want this bad. I can't tell you how I got it, because if they knew how, it would be disastrous for us. I can tell you the protective powers of this journal are based on...
I has this thing, but I can't tell you how I got this thing, because then it would make it so I don't have this thing, and then you'd have to fight it on your own, and this is just a big fucking circle that never ends. I hate everything about this. I hate my life. I cannot wait to be done with this. I can't wait to be done with this and move on to something else. I'm so cranky. I'm becoming so cranky right now, it's not even funny.
We are so desperate for answers after all this that we just jump to conclusions, into situations without thinking, and we do dumb shit, and dumb shit happens to us. Let's be real.
No, you think? How much to make this speed up more?
Let's stop that, okay? Charging a bit more cerebral.
Well, we've got 8 minutes left of this bullshit. It's almost done, Nox, and then we can close it out for the day, I promise. It's almost done. It's less than 8 minutes because I'm at 1.5, so... Because, Nox, I could do this, and we could deal with this.
Is a ruse.
This is how it actually is.
Rolled a 5 or an 8. You would have been taken deeper into the infinite maze. What? So yeah,
Nobody wants this. Nobody wants this.
Why the fuck did you make me roll it? Because I knew which numbers you were going to roll. It was the same one that I rolled back then. And I'm you. That proves
Catching flies in his mouth, tasting freedom while he dares, then crawling back to the top of the stairs, off the stairs. You won't see the sun again for years to come. He's broken out in love. What are you typing, pigeon? What are you typing?
This place is a network of mirrored pathways that change constantly. It's MC after work.
I'm so
You
confused.
gotta find your way out of here on your own, just like I did. It may seem impossible, but there is structure to chaos. It's very possible to find your way back. I did it once, and you're going to do it again.
Oh.
For years. We
Got
know
it.
this very well, don't we? But you've been seeing discrepancies in the path.
You're going insane like me. Got it. Cool. We got it. Yeah.
The path repeats. Yes, the path repeats. But sometimes it flips. Sometimes the tower isn't there. Sometimes everything's reversed. Sometimes you find weird shit. Follow the path to the pier, but take note of the changes. Catch something different, something wrong. And turn around, head in the opposite direction. It's like one of those find a difference games. However, when you find misleading, confusing, or even negative fortunes, shit you never see in a real fortune cookie, just ignore them until you want, because they've anticipated your movement.
Yeah, we've already lost our minds.
Those fortunes have been placed there intentionally to manipulate.
I lost my mind a long time ago. There is no such thing as sanity anymore.
And eventually, you'll find the end of the boardwalk. So at the pier, you're going to find that intersecting line symbol. Now, what are you going to do with that symbol when you find it? You're going to destroy it. Like a lock. Remove the lock until the doorway opens. That's your lesson. Did you listen to anything that fucking demon told you in Jersey?
Didn't I do it for you?
Good.
Didn't I do it for you?
It's fucking crucial.
Dear me.
You're gonna have a window just about a
See, this is how much I'm done.
to the entrance. Before they
Saying random things.
No matter what you hear,
Can it be done?
no matter what you see, what you think, do not turn around.
Can we be done?
You hit that fucking parking lot, you understand? Any hesitation will drag you back in. Fear is our ally.
Can we not anymore?
But you saw what we turned into. That's not even Firebrand yet. He's a god monster. Like, what am I gonna do after this? Like, how can
So
I
tired.
future? Only prepare for it.
I need a drink. I need a drink after
I
this.
told you. Take some deep breaths. You aren't thinking clearly. How can you assure me that
I've literally stopped paying attention to like what he's saying
the reason I can't just tell you the way out, as I remember it,
because it's the same thing over and over again.
right now. Firebrand's clouded their future vision to a point where not even they know where you'll be headed. They're watching this video right now. They're counting on you to give it away. So you're gonna have to find a way out yourself. You're gonna have to solve this maze on your own. Here's the Maverick supplies. You're gonna need them. It's not gonna be easy, and it's not going to be short, but it can be done. Remember what I said to do? Map your way out of the labyrinth. Note the patterns, follow them intuitively, and you will get out. I know for a fact that you can do this because you already have. Thank you. Thank you for helping me. There it is. Thank yourself. Be the one who gets out. So, you're welcome. But this is the part where I leave. So, you're going to need this. Adios, muchacho.
This was like a waste of time.
So, since you exist, that means I do get out of here for sure, right?
Okay, I'm just the middleman here, dude. I'm not the guy pulling the strings. Not yet. So, who knows? Maybe you're fucked. I guess you'll find out when you're me.
I agree. That table's fucking cool.
I have no questions.
And back you go. Filter back on. Okay, we're almost done, guys. We're almost done, I swear. What does it say? Whatever we are, I will remember the way we were. Okay. Oh, your battery's gonna die. Battery's dead! Is that it? Oh. Back. 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 The labyrinth awaits. Is that it? Are we done? Never forget, we are done for the time being, motherfuckers. We're done for the time being. We're done for the time being. And I am gonna go have a fucking drink, have some lunch, get some rest. Thank you to Nox and Pidgey and Spectre for donating. Holy crap. I'm losing my mind. Anyways. More content to come soon, hopefully. For those of you who haven't checked out the second channel, check out the second channel. It's funny. I do stupid stuff. And I'm gonna go try not to die anymore in Minecraft. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Love y'all very much. And sweet nightmares.
Bite me one time. Bite me twice. Oh, ah, that's rather nice. Frankenstein, freaks and grunge. Scream out loud, you're out of luck. Crime so beastly, can't get enough. Ooh, it's all side. Psychotic Love. I start to turn when all the streets are moonlit. I suck 'em dry and rip off all the skin bits. 'Cause freaky horror films, I'll always be a fan. From Nosferatu right up to Train to Busan. And what a beautiful werewolf queen we have inside.
Thank you for another 5, Pidgey.
To slice a path of hell with a foul death beside it. Spooky sounds, blood and brains, hunted down by the insane. Crime so beastly, can't get enough. Ooh, it's all side. Psychotic Love.